Is it recording, Greg? It is? Okay.
It looks like it is.
All right, great. Today we're going to do the third installment of Win with Sellers, and that's the post-close systems. Now, the post-close systems, I'm going to have to edit this too, because this wasn't where it was supposed to be. There we go. This section is going to go through, it's the final system step of the cycle. And then, as with every other section of the course, we focus on maximizing the model and then look at some creative ways listing winners have plussed with their game. Consider your skills objectively and be honest with yourself about how well it's maximized as we review the model. I'm going to hit a button here and hopefully it moves. It didn't. Okay. There we go. The step 7 is the post close. So before we start this, we're gonna write your goals for this step of seller service cycle. What does that mean? The post close system, the biggest thing is service, retention, and the utilization of touch campaigns to get both of those done. So in the goals section there, if you have a manual in front of you, just write down retain clients for life, follow up with customers, and utilize your touch campaigns. Okay, the post-close step of the seller service cycle is critical because this is where you convert your satisfied customers into clients for life. Since you did a great job for the sellers, they're a prime opportunity for more business, specifically through referrals and testimonials. Plus, statistics tell us that they'll likely sell again in 7 to 9 years. I'm actually finding that you're going to find a lot of sellers that are going to be selling in 3 to 5 years, the way this economy's going, because they're making money. What you need to do is make sure you're on their mind, okay? And that's by continuing your relationship. So to avoid the pitfalls, dropping contact with clients after closing, leaving all the rapport and equity on the table instead of getting numerous deals from them. I've been doing this 14 years, and one of my biggest sources, 80% of my sources are referrals and past clients. And this is because for years, thankfully, the first broker I had, she said, I asked her, I said, what can I do to make this really worthwhile? And she said, get yourself a database, get a CRM, make sure you work it, make sure you're touching your clients, even if it's nothing more than a once a month, these are the houses that are for sale, okay? Really, really important not to drop the ball on this. So avoid that pitfall. That jumped pretty quick. Not where I wanted to go. Surveys, reviews, and testimonials. When and how should you survey your clients? This is all about feedback and where your feedback goes to and how to take care of your feedback. They reason this as, when was the last time you went to a restaurant? And how did you get there? Did you read the reviews? Of course I do. I do. Sometimes I don't read past the second review. And I wind up getting burnt because I don't see the guy that said, this really was lousy, for whatever reason. So you got to have a system in place to ensure that you're surveying and asking for the feedback. Ask for reviews, for testimonials at regular intervals, not just once. As we go through, you look at some of my feedback, some of it's 14 years old. What I did back then is not what I do now. I do it at a higher level and a better track record. Where would you, and this is a question for y'all, where would you ask your people to go as far as reviews? Where are you going to keep track of those reviews?
I have on realtor.com or Zillow.
Okay. So two good answers. They're national sites, right? People see them, they visit them. Any downfall to that?
I suppose if you had a negative review, still national site, still everybody sees it. So that could certainly be a downside.
That's a downside. What you need to know about that is Realtor doesn't allow you to answer. I don't believe they keep the conversation going. I got to look at that. I know Zillow allows you to have the last word. So I do have a couple of bad reviews on there simply from disgruntled people that really didn't want to put up. I didn't want to put up with them. Okay. What I learned was you can answer it. And most of my stuff goes, you know what? The guy is telling the truth. But let me tell you the other side of the story. And this is what happened. So you can leave there. Feel free to go and look at them. You can leave there. Hopefully you didn't screw up totally, but make sure you answer any bad reviews. Make sure you answer them. Surveys, a list of questions. You can find these questions by just Googling it. I've got a list of questions that I use. Happy to share somewhere down the road. Delivery, how do you get them? You know, electronic, paper, interview, automated survey. Has anybody started using video surveys? Going back and forth and actually just a quick sitting at the closing table. So would you share your, get a little tripod? Would you share your experience with us? We'd love to hear about it. You know, so then you take the electronic and you put it on your website. Schedule dates to send to customers. If you don't, you should be asking for that the first week because that's when it's still golden in front of you. And then every 15, 30, 45, 60 days until they finally break down. Some people won't write them at all. And in the past, you can write something generic for yourself and say, I know you're real busy, but here, try this. Does this work for you? Is this, and they might change a couple of words here and there. It just gives them an option to get in there. And always have a method of recording and tracking results. Real important step, very important step. Did all that. When's the best time to ask for reviews or testimonials? Anytime anything good happens, even if they're not your client, even if they're still your customer. Some of my testimonials that I've used over the years are from people that I tried to help and the help didn't go all the way through. This shows people, hey, he's approachable, even if I don't buy a house. So that's important to do. For some reason, this is follow up with customers. All right, so the last, avoid this pitfall also. If you don't have any reviews or testimonials, don't think your customers will do just that for you. Ask, call your 5 most recent customers and ask for an online review or testimonial. Ask family for an online review or testimonial. Preferably somebody not with the same last name as yours or using your URL. You can ask that. You got to build your reviews. Now let's go back to Zillow and Realtor. I'm not a fan of either platform. Because what happens is you can't really pull those off of Zillow and Realtor. I want people going back to my website. You know, I want them going back into my crib. I want them to live inside of right now Command. I have a FirePoint website also. Try to bring them back in. So if they are on Zillow, that's great. Zillow, the more leads you have on Zillow, the higher you rank on Zillow. Same thing with Realtor. But always try to get them back into your own website. Keep it local, and that's important. So the next one is follow up with customers. We've all heard this statistic from the National Association of Realtors. When customers are happy with your service, it makes sense to keep in touch and earn their repeat and referral business. In fact, according to the NAR profile of buyers and sellers, the majority of sellers would use the same agent again. Why don't they? Why don't they? Because they have not heard from you in the last 3, 5, 7, or 9 years. One of the ways that I stay in touch, we have a 36 touch with Keller Williams, 33 touch, 36 under the new MREA. I don't send out Christmas cards. I send out Thanksgiving cards. And I get those to the top 110, 120 people. They don't go to everybody, just the people that deserve them. Okay, deal with the top 20% of your people. If you have people that are not opening up your mail or interacting with you on Facebook, deal with the top 20% of your people. Those will be the people that share, like, and give your name out as referrals. So get your touch campaign together, put it on automatic, and it'll work. You should be touching your clients 2 to 4 times a year with a telephone call or in person. They will take your call. They're always happy to talk to you. And the first thing out of their mouth is, Greg, you know that you're the only guy I'll send anybody to. I know you do, and I really do appreciate it. And it just gives you an opportunity to be grateful for them and to give them thanks. All right, discussion. Touch campaigns. Can you all see that? Yeah. So touch ideas. Thank you notes, newsletters, market snapshots, 2-page market reports, theme postcards, birthday cards, anniversary flowers, closing anniversary card, holiday cards, updated preferred vendor lists. This is in your workbook. Coupons for seasonal food or events, free property valuations, invitations to charity fundraisers. They miss a lot of stuff here. One of the things you want to do is as you build your business is every time you close a deal, take the HUD, or whatever they're calling it this week, take your settlement statement, fold it up, address the envelope to your people, and put it in a file. January 1st, you're going to write a letter. Say, hey, I know things are shifting around and you moved this year and I really appreciate your business. Boom. January 1st, all those letters get mailed out. That's one of the biggest responses I get, January 15th. Greg, thank you very much for touching us. We really appreciate that. You did such a great job. So make sure you do it. Fundraising events. What kind of fundraising events are we talking about? Money? No money? Tell me a cheap fundraising event. Inexpensive.
Back to school?
Excuse me?
Like a back to school fundraiser?
Yeah. I mean, how would you do it? Who would you invite?
I would invite, hold on, I'm sorry. I would more likely invite previous clients, past clients, clients who I'm currently working with now. If I'm targeting a specific area, people out of that area. And then I would probably ask like vendors and stores in that area to donate supplies.
All right. And that's great and right on the money. Biggest thing is make sure you invite the people you just sold. They will come out. Not all of them, probably 30% of them will show up. Once a year, not this year, we hold a Flanagan home team baseball game over at the Joe. 100 people. It's great to see the parents bring out the kids, especially if that's your target. It's good to bring a couple of vendors in to help you pay for it. Average with 100 people is about $3,000. You don't have to do it that big. You can buy just the tickets, $6 a piece. All right, and your referral network. So that's important. Give and receive referrals. You need a referral network. Who better to add to your referral network than other agents in this class? Build your professional network and give and receive referrals everywhere and anywhere. You can also get referrals from your clients. Here's a client script that you can use. And this is an eye opener, and you might not feel comfortable with it, but as you get to the closing table or you're talking to somebody on the phone, it goes, hey, you know what, Sarah? I really do appreciate you using me to help you sell your house. Any chance, do you happen to have, can I ask you for like 10 referrals?
Of course, Greg.
Of course. Do you have 10 do you have 10?
Well, I know I've got about 5, but I could probably come up with another few.
Man, I'd be happy for the 5. I would really appreciate it. So what it does, it gets them thinking away from the 1 and into the 10. If they come up with 3, if they come up with 1, God bless, right? So you're in good shape. All right, major points, ahas, and the one thing. What'd you learn over that quick little chapter there? Any major points?
I really, it hit home when you said get reviews from people that you may not have completed a deal with. I thought that was brilliant, and it had not crossed my mind.
Especially if you're working with them. You know, hey, I know it's early in our conversation, but I really would love you to send out a survey. Back yourself up into a survey. Say, hey, this is Sarah, and I just want to see how I'm doing so far. Am I taking care of this need, this, and always leave a little bit of a paragraph on the bottom. Let them please fill in your thoughts, and you just capture a good referral. So that's good. Anything else?
I was a little late to the party, so I missed.
That's fine. If you got the workbook, it's on page, we're dealing, I think, between 114 and 124. What's your one thing as far as post-close systems? Stay in touch. Most important thing you can do. That's
be on their mind.
This is probably one of the shortest chapters you're going to look at, but one of the biggest money maker in this business. The people that have the relationships and continue those relationships after the sale closes are the people that make the most money. If you have a knucklehead, don't send him a friggin' survey. Don't send him a referral request to Zillow or Realtor. You don't want that. So make sure they're happy, they like you, and they will refer people to you. Okay. Not everybody's going to have a great experience, more than likely because of themselves. But we should be good. So, okay, review the major part and have the students write down the ahas. We did that. Ask for volunteers. We did that. Lead a discussion about the ahas. We did that. Chapter 8, the conclusion. I have no idea why I can't get both screens to work together. It's very bad. Do you remember why the model is a cycle? Okay. Because it never ends. Tell your client for life is going to be at step 1 again, and if you stay in touch, you'll be there. I can tell you about clients from the day I started to today. I'm actually closing next week on one of my first clients 14 years ago. Actually, they were about 12 years ago. Since that time, I would say they've closed 6 or 7 different transactions. This is only their second one. I've done their parents. I helped their parents buy and sell. That's 4. I helped 2 people coming in from where they lived in Long Island. There's 6. I'm well over $2.5 million in business just from these folks. All right. So that's a lot of money. All right. That's 70 grand, 75 grand. Take it. You've seen how the 7-step seller service cycle is the model for your listing business. This is mastery. Seeing an activity in its component parts and purposefully improving at each. Use this model for maximizing your listing business. It will make your success predictable, make your success duplicable, save you time, and generate results. Remember, This is a cycle, not a list. As clients pass through step 7, they'll be back with sales, purchases, and referrals forever. Y'all young on this. You're young, man. You got a long way to go. Just keep these people happy and you'll be fine. Okay, activity, my future with sellers. I want you to write down your version of the winner's day. Use I and make it as personal as you can. Put your heart into it. Describe your big life and don't let your fear get in your way. So we're into the final chapter here. And, you know, here's what I want you to do. You'll recall this winner's day from the beginning of our course. Imagine yourself a year from now. You go into the office just as you would any other Monday and see the stack of leads you will call. As you call these leads, you think about how easy it is to make an appointment with each one that you pre-qualify. Your delivery person will have pre-listing packages in their hands within an hour. As you speak with these sellers, you make a connection, say the right things, and explore how you can help out your new customers. When you're done with your calls, you realize that you have 5 appointments booked and a solid follow-up plan for the rest of the week. As you get ready for your appointments, you already have done your homework for each seller and know what pricing you'll recommend. As the day progresses, all of your appointments go well. So write down your version of the above day using I, make it personal, put your heart into it, and let it describe your big life. I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and I'm going to run downstairs and grab a drink of water. I'll be back. Hey there. So I'm so happy nobody left. You know, it's just things we have to put up with. I went further than a cup of coffee. I've got a cup of coffee. So thanks. Um, did you all get through the exercise? Anybody want to share?
I don't mind sharing. I don't know if I did it correctly.
I'm sure you did. Go ahead.
I just said I'm successful both in business and in connections. I provide an exceptional service, and my clients feel comfortable and confident in business with me. My clients refer me time after time again because they know I care for them and others.
Excellent. Excellent. Um, anything in there that didn't that you felt could be a little bit deeper or less deeper, or did you feel comfortable writing it out?
I did. I probably could go deeper. I mean, I think maybe, I know I haven't thought it further, but I guess I could go a little bit deeper.
Well, a couple of the words I liked in there. Well, the one word I definitely liked in there was confident. Okay, that's an important word. The one thing we know, especially when you're going in for a listing, is that I'm going to win. Okay, I'm confident in what I do. And this is all about listings, right? We're talking about listings. It's the backbone of our business. Buyers are great. When everything goes downhill, though, the person who has the listings has the business. So be confident when you go in there. Super. Great job. Great job. Okay. Can you go back and pull out your one thing statements? Do you have them? No. Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
All right. If you haven't read the book, read the book. Okay. And what this exercise wanted us to do is retrieve your one thing statements from the end of each of your chapters, from the introduction through step 7. Write each of your lead activities. Take a moment to share your activities with others around you. Are you working? Let me ask this question, because there's only 3 of us here, and I'll be happy to do a little coaching or a little pushing. Are you focusing on listings today, or are you focusing on buyers? What are you doing? What are you doing for your prospecting on a daily basis?
Right now, mine has been more on buyers, but I want to get more with sellers, to be honest.
And how would you do that, John Drea?
I've been kind of looking at like FISBOs and expireds. I guess because I've never actually had to like do it. I'm still I'm a little afraid on how I'm going to approach it, or like, I'm scared to do cold calling and door knocking, to be honest. So maybe social media is my best bet right now, what I feel comfortable with. I know that's my drunk monkey on my shoulder, or whatever.
Yeah. And you got a lot of words there. And John Drea, we did a deal together. We know each other. Sarah's known me for a couple of years also, and you know that I'm going to jump right down your all throat and
That's fine.
stop you from using words like scared. Okay. Your mind, one of the biggest things that we deal with in sales is you have to master your mind and your words. If you want to read a great book, it's called The 4 Promises. Is that what it's called? Yes. Yes? No? Hold on.
Okay.
It's a little fable, just a little fable. And one of those is, let me get out my book reading schedule here. Ba, 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 ba. It's a great mindset book, and it's not a hard book. It's not a hard book. The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Okay. And those 4 agreements, one of those agreements is be impeccable with your words.
Mm.
Okay? Be impeccable with your words. And not only to other people, but to yourself also. When we're talking to ourselves, pretend you're talking to somebody else. Would you talk to somebody else in that language? Maybe, maybe not. But try to keep the scared away. Be a little more.
Yeah, not a client.
Right.
I wouldn't say scared to a client. Yeah.
Right. So be confident in what you do there. That's a long run. I've got a bunch of books that if you're looking for, I'm not a big get into real deep on these psycho things, but you have to master your mind first. And part of that is mastering your language to yourself. Okay. The one thing, if you haven't read the one thing, please read it. It focuses what you need to do. What do you feel your one thing would be right now because you haven't done anything with listings?
My one thing would be to go ahead and just jump out the boat.
Yeah. Your one thing is to jump out of the boat. How would you jump out of the boat?
Just go for it. I'm just going to just start walking up to people and saying, hey, are you trying to sell your house?
Right. One of the first things that I would advise to do is to learn the conversations that go around looking for listings. Learn those conversations. Some people want to call them scripts. That's fine with me as long as you're not scared of the word scripts. Do they sound like you? That's a limiting belief. They don't have to sound like me. As long as I know the words that need to be said at the right time, I will say them. Whether it's, let me think about it. Well, let me ask you a question. Other than that, what else would I need to do to earn your business today? What's stopping you from listing today? So look at getting into some classes maybe that have to do with script practice.
Okay.
Ignite, take Ignite again. I've taken a couple of them. I teach a few of them, and they're mostly sellers. But they split it into two things. And the first part is all about the language we use when we're talking to people. We are in a sales game, right? We have to use sales language, and that's important. It's just like the guy that's at McDonald's asking us for fries with that hamburger. That's a script. He knows what he has to say to get us. I had one girl. I'll tell you a quick one. I was in DC a couple weeks back, a month ago, and this girl, I went to a Checkers. Man, she worked me over so bad. I was buying ice cream by the time I was done.
I didn't know they had ice cream at Checkers.
They do. So there I'm sitting there. I got a hot burger and a cold ice cream. What am I going to eat first?
Right.
She worked me over well. So read your one thing.
Okay.
Get your one thing statement together. Go back and review this course. It's about focusing. It's about focusing on your 20%. Your 20% is prospecting. Just get into action. Just get into action. All right. So there's no real secret to real estate success. You follow the best models, you implement the best systems, and you commit to the best training. That's what this is all about. Train, and just commit to the language of sales, and you'll do it. Did you miss anything there, Miss Sarah? You want me to go back over?
Oh, I did. I'm sorry. I kind of missed the critical part. But speaking of listing, I put a listing on the market today and I've been getting calls on it. So
good. Well, here's the great thing about being a listing agent is you don't have to take those calls. You can answer. That's the best part about having listings. You control your time. Whereas buyers want, need. These are other agents. They're just calling you up. And what I've found over the years is normally it's stupid stuff that they can find out for themselves. When was the air conditioner built? What does the disclosure say? Right? So
yes.
As a listing agent, You control your time. That's the best thing about listings. Control your time. So they wanted you to reread your one thing if you've done that in the past. I don't know if you have or not.
No, just like Drea, I just have not. I didn't do my one thing, and I missed that part, but I'll go back and put it into action.
Okay. And they want you to write each of your lead activities down also. And if you're dealing with sellers, those lead activities are a little different, would you say? What kind of lead activities are we talking about? Give me, let's do 5 lead activities for sellers. 2 of them are easy. John Dre is scared of them.
You mean like FISBOs and things like that?
FISBOs, right?
I think farming, like farming your neighborhood.
Farming. What else? Who are you farming?
Neighborhood.
How big?
400-ish.
400. Okay. So you got expireds, FISBOs, farming. What else can we do to find business for sellers?
Door knocking.
Door knocking. Database. Database. Most important. 80% of my business is database. It's important. Very, very. All these are great. They take the most time. That database, number 1 on the list. Stay in touch with your database. All right. So it goes back through, it says, my one thing for lead conversion, my one thing for pre-listing, listing consultation, servicing, marketing, offers and negotiation. Who will hold you accountable is the next thing. And this comes down to revisit your goals. Accountability will enable you to obtain your goals. Having an accountability plan will reduce worry and help focus on what's important, which helps give you a higher level of attentiveness. Excuse me. The highest of achievers have coaches who hold them accountable. Michael Jordan, Mia Hamm, Joe Montana, Mary Lou Retton, my goodness, these are all old people, have all attributed much to their success to their coaches who held them accountable. Who will do that for you? Now you have options, right? Your personal accountability, partners in success, coaching or mentoring programs. So does anybody have an accountability coach? Anybody dealing with Sarah?
Or Adrian.
Adrian, okay. And she's a good accountability coach, correct?
Yes.
I started making money when I got a coach. It wasn't part of the regular plan. Tom Ferry was actually, Floyd Wickman was my first one. Ferry was my second one. Then I got into the MAP system, and it all works. Of course, plug for me, selfless plug. I also do coaching anytime you want. Get with me later on. Every Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock, we do a free one. And if you like what I have to say, we go on from there. Personal accountability. Personal accountability, you are willing to personally understand and accept the task, take action to achieve results, answer for the results obtained regardless of the outcome, and to accept blame if things go wrong and make corrections or improvements to avoid mistakes in the future. Personal accountability comes down to responsibility. You are, at the end of the day, responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your income. You're responsible for putting food on the table, paying your car bills, all that other stuff. If you are not willing to personally accept accountability, this is not the game for you. This is not the game for you. Yeah, you'll get a deal here and there, and you'll make a couple of $1,000s and forget to put it on your taxes, and then the tax man's going to come back and get you. And, it's what We have 6,600 people in this place, and it's what 4,800 of them do. Okay? So be personally accountable. Partners in success, find accountability partners. One of the great benefits of having an accountability partner is that it increases your productivity and keeps you on track and in check with your goals. Y'all got goals? Yes?
Yes.
Y'all got goals. Are they attainable?
Yes.
Can you double those goals, and will they still be attainable?
Yes.
That gets scary, right? That's when your stomach starts getting butterflies. That's when you know you're pushing yourself. That's when you know you're actually you're going to make a difference. You're going to make a difference. Does anybody have a script partner or an accountability partner working with Adrian other than Adrian? A peer partner?
I've added a script partner this year.
Cool. Chandrea? Okay. Partners is get a script partner. Get somebody who's going to hold you accountable. If they're not holding you accountable or you're not holding them accountable, you are letting down your partner. Don't do that. Coaching or mentoring program. KW has coaching and mentoring programs available for you. Ask your Ignite faculty or your team leader about the options. You have MAPS, you have Adrian, you have Flanagan, you have Tom Ferry. There's all kinds of coaches that you go to. I think one of the biggest ahas in my life was a guy by the name of, oh, goodness gracious, Pat Mancuso. He was a bold coach. And Pat, I think in my first year in Keller Williams, we had 110 people at the Bold. Pat came up, dynamic guy, probably a couple of years younger than I am. And he asked me about coaching. And I said, no, you know what? I tried coaching. I think I'm uncoachable. He said, what do you mean? And I started talking about coaches that, some of the coaches that were assigned to me, I could hear them feeding their dog. I could, they're just going through life collecting their couple $100 on my call. And he said, he enlightened me. He said, did you hold them accountable? I said, what do you mean? He says, you're paying them. Make sure you hold your coach accountable. If they're not holding you accountable, make sure you hold them accountable. And that accountability goes both ways. Same thing with your script partner. Same thing with your accountability partner. You have to hold them accountable. Put some consequences behind it. And if that means that you don't get access to that other person, one of my coaches, very high level coach, you know what? If I said, oh, I didn't do it, he hung up the phone. Yeah. Happened once. He hung up the phone and there was no calling him back. So I just blew, at that time I think it was $300 for the hour. I blew $300 because I didn't do what I said I was going to do. So make it hurt. Take the courses, especially if you're going to be listing homes. Language of sales, 90 days in 90 days, 90 listings in 90 days. Dominate your market. Farming can make you millions. Every market center, use Adrian. Whatever you need to do, do it. Any questions there? Do you need to up your accountability with what you do every day? Personal question. You don't have to answer it. Are you working at the level that you should be working? Are you putting in, it says top 20%. If we work 8 hours a day, which is a great way to work when you're a listing agent, phone goes off at 5 o'clock. What's 20% of 8? 2 hours, right? Or is that 25%? About an hour and 3/4, hour and something. That's all you got to work. Focus on touching as many people as you can in that 2 hours, and you're done for the day. The rest will take care of itself. 10 hours a week, all day long. The rest will take care of itself. Y'all understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So, how are you going to change your actions? Somebody tell me. What are you going to do different?
Change my mindset.
Change your mindset. Okay, great. Super. What else?
Continue to work database. Continue to work database, work database, work database.
Work database. Right, right. What tools will you use?
Sphere of influence, or you mean tools like our computer?
No,
Oh,
tools. What tools are you going to use? Computers, yes, of course. What tools in the KW systems will you use? Scripts, you know,
oh,
now with
script.
band, I mean, you got pre-listing packages, you've got presentations, you got a lot of things you can use for to get the listing. Biggest part, how will you be held accountable? If you don't have a script partner right now, go out and get one. Where do you find them? Get on Facebook, type in KW script partner, go to West Ashley Private, type in script partner, ask somebody to be your script partner. There's a lot of people out there that need them. Get back into Ignite if you need Ignite. And then finally, what do you want to achieve? No matter how big your goals are, you're going to hit them, right? You're going to hit them as long as you're working to that level. I can say honestly, it doesn't take too much to get overwhelmed very quickly when you start making business. So if you're looking at making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, which is pretty easy to make, very easy to make, especially if you're very personable, it can happen very quickly. So figure out what you want to make, what your goals are, and work backwards on it. And that's where CGI comes into play. Okay. Is anybody familiar with CGI? Are we still using it? Okay. And it's Career Growth Initiative. It was big for the last 4 years, and it comes down to appointments, listings, closings, and profit. All those things together, what it does, it unlimits your potential by empowering you to be purposeful about the critical levers that lead to profitability in your business. The 4 CGI conversations with your market center leadership are designed to be transformative opportunities because they focus on the critical levers of your business. The conversations, along with CGI tools depicted below, allow you to approach your business goals, activities, and results like a business leader. So you got your pipeline tools, you got your listings, monthly listings tool, you got your listing management, and then you got your profit. These are conversations you have to have with yourself, especially as a business owner. You are a business owner, correct? Nobody's on a team. You're a business owner. You need a P&L. You need a process. You need a system to follow every day. Every day you get up and you do X, Y, and Z. That's how we make business every day. I wish there were 20 people on this. I wanted to see how many hands actually talked to 20 people today. How many people? Anybody? 23 for me. Okay. You got to get up in the morning. You got to do your stuff. You got to do it. That's what a business owner does. They can't rely on anybody else. Do your stuff. What's the most important thing to do during the day? Most important thing you're going to do all day. Give me one. Only
Lead
one.
generate.
Lead generate. Correct. All right, we're on scripts and toolkits. Let me get there. I'm a little bit behind. Okay, objection handling scripts. This is important. Is anybody in possession of my 25? I'm going to share with you. I have a document. It's called 25 objections. You use these 25 objections. There's nothing else really you're going to run across. Everybody's got the same objection, right? Well, think about it. Do it later. I can't afford it. I don't have time. Yada, 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 yada. Know the answers, and you'll know how to beat this stuff. So page 138, if you have it with you, which I'm sure you don't. These are the scripts. John Drea, if you go into mykw.com, mykw.kw.com, you can download this and it'll be in the back of your book.
Oh, okay.
These are all scripts that you should practice with somebody else. So there's a seller objection. The seller sees the market shift and has Sarah, do you have your book in front of you? If not, don't worry about it.
I'm trying to pull it up, but I do have it. I have a physical book actually that I use.
Okay. So on page 142, I'm going to read through this and just so you hear it one or two times. And it flows off the tongue pretty quickly because it's what I know. Here's a situation. The seller sees the market shift and his unrealistic expectations. The seller's objection is, we just want to test the market and see if we can get a buyer at a higher price. The agent, well, Mr. Seller, I'm confused. Did you want to test the market or sell your home? Well, I want to sell it at the highest price. Well, that's great. We have the same goal. Let me ask you, have you ever bought or sold stocks or know of anyone or someone who did? Well, of course, yes. Well, if you bought a stock at $49 and wanted to sell it and the market said it was worth $49.50, would you place a higher value on it to test the market, or would you sell it for market value? Well, I'd have to sell it for market value if I wanted to sell it. Exactly. You're right. You want to sell it for the most money, and the real estate market dictates what you will receive, just like the stock market. So let's sell your home for the highest price the market will allow, which is what you want, correct? Yes. Well, then great. Then the price based on the marketing analysis I did is telling us today your home should sell for $250. Let's price it right so you and your family can move. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. So what he did there was he did an analogy with the stock market. It's a very common thing to do with the stock market. I just finished one, a couple of properties up in Goose Creek. Woman bought them 15 years ago for like $50,000 a piece, and she paid not interest, but taxes for 15, 20 years. And she wanted like 110 for each of them. I'm going, man, it's not what the market's going to give you. But I have it. I use the stock market. You bought stocks back then. You try to sell them today. It didn't work out. What do you have to do? I have to sell them. Correct. I want to keep them for my kids. Well, if I can't get that price, I'll give them to my kids. And you know what? That's a very noble thing to do. Let me ask you a question. What do you think your kids are going to do as soon as you die? She says, I don't understand what you're asking. You give them 2 pieces of land. What are they going to do with them? Well, they're going to sell them. And they're not going to sell them for what they're worth today. I said, you might as well sell that property, use that money today. It's great, and then leave your kids whatever's left over. You agree with that? Yes, I do. Let's put them on the market. Boom. All right. So these are the things you have to use your mind to get into. And as long as you stay focused, you'll be in great shape. You'll be in great shape. All right. So these are just situation after situation. Any questions?
No.
Oh, I'm going to get out of here in an hour. Come on. Have you done, and Sarah, I'm going to pick on you because you sounds like you're a little bit, John Drea has been around for a while and she's done some listings. I know that. But I think, are you back in now full-time, John Drea, or are you still working to get out?
No, I'm back full-time now.
Good for you. Good for you. Um, I would definitely say take this entire course again, take Ignite again. Get your listing package together, get your pre-listing package together. Don't make it super, super crazy. Just do what you need to do. Show people what your marketing plan is and what you have. If you don't have enough time in the business yet, use KW West Ashley. Our numbers are phenomenal. Sell yourself, sell your company, sell your product. That's what you got to do. So you got to go in confident. Hey, I am a listing agent. This is what I do for a living. Well, how many listings have you had? Well, you know what? I've only had 3, which is great for you, Mr. Seller. Well, why is that? Because all my energy is going to be put on you. It's all going to be you. I don't have 50 listings. I'm not worried about this, that, and the other. You're going to deal directly with me. You're not going to deal with a listing manager and this person and that person. We're going to do this together, and you're going to see how great I'm going to take care of you. All right, bring it back to personal. Sell yourself. Sell yourself. But what happens if you run into a problem? I've got 138 other agents with experience. That's where we're going. So, build yourself up. Be the confident person going in there. Use APC, use CRS, anything you feel comfortable with making a value opinion with. Stay away from Zillow. Stay away from realtor values. Have either one of you run into a Zillow? Well, it says X, Y, and Z on Zillow. Anybody?
Yes.
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 And how do you handle it? Ah!
I just have that little chat with them. It's like I says, would you go to, would you trust a person who raises animals to tell you how good your produce is? Farmer, they're 2 different things. So, I mean, just
Okay.
because they say it doesn't mean. I says, but I tell them the pros and cons. You can listen to this or you can listen to me because I know the market area. They're not here and they don't know it. So if you want to take that chance, it's on you, but you can't say that I did not tell you.
Correct.
So it does not fall back on me. It falls back on you.
Well, I wouldn't take the listing if they want to go with Zillow and it wasn't in my ballpark. That's the other part about this. You're right on the money, John Drea. Talk about your localism. I'm here. I understand the market. This is what the market's showing us. This is where the market's going. Zillow can't tell us that the house down the street sold for $131,000, but it was filled with rats.
Right.
That's what they can't tell us. So stick with that. Good for you. All right. Well, listings. You got nothing else? I got nothing else.
No. But I did just find the book, so I'm gonna go ahead and download it and start going through it. The course book.
Yeah, it's an important one, and I think if you ask Kristen, she can put you on to the other 2 videos. Much more information in those other 2. They were the basis of the entire thing.
I caught the first one. I didn't get the second one.
Okay, and the second one's probably pretty good because it was Maggie. This third one is all about database. It's all about your database. It's all about getting in front of them, as many times as you can per year. Don't spend a lot of money. Just keep them in your thoughts and keep calling them and do whatever. Go to what do they call it? $2 Chuck or $3 Chuck. Buy some wine and drop one off at each house. If they say, "Oh, I don't like red," if I don't like red, well, then you go back to your database and you go, "They like white wine." Okay, that's the way we work that.
That way you can still update it. I do have a quick question that's off topic.
Yeah.
Did you record the foreclosure class the other day? Because I was traveling. I didn't get a chance to catch it.
We did. Hold on for 1 second. All right, my name is Greg Flanagan. Telephone number is 843-952-4444. Look for me at FlanaganHomeTeam.com or on the Facebook at Power Interviews. Have a great day. All right. Just want to make sure I got everything. Stop recording.